to the inside of a jail cell. Andre Rebelo is now facing a likely life prison term. He murdered his 58-year-old mother, Colleen. Her body was found under a running shower in her Bicton home. Killing was part of a plan by Rebelo.
Hey, true crime friends, it's time to dive into a story that'll hit you right in the gut. Picture a peaceful suburb in Perth, Australia, Bicton, where neighbors know your name and life feels safe. It's May 25, 2020, and in a small house, a tragedy unfolds that's almost too awful to believe. Colleen Rebelo, a 58-year-old mom and grandma with a heart of gold, is found dead in her shower. At first, everyone thinks it's a freak accident, but then the truth creeps out, and it's worse than anyone imagined. Her son, Andre Rebelo, a 26-year-old chasing Instagram fame, is hiding a secret that'll make your blood run cold. This is a tale of greed, betrayal, and a mother's love shattered. Grab a seat because this one's going to stay with you. Let's get into it. Okay, let's scroll through the Instagram feed of Andre Rebelo and Gracie Piscopo. It's 2020 and they're the couple everyone envies. Gracie's an influencer with over 1 million followers, raking in $8,000 a post, sometimes $80,000 for big brand deals. Their feed is a dream: Bali getaways, designer sunglasses, their little boy, Romeo, giggling in a high-end stroller. Andre's right there posing in sharp outfits, looking like he's made it. They've got a rented townhouse in Beaconsfield, Perth, and a Range Rover that screams success. But here's the thing about Instagram, it's a highlight reel, not the whole story. And their story, it's falling apart. Andre wasn't some crypto genius or tech mogul. He was a 26-year-old who dropped out of uni and worked as a Coles delivery driver before becoming a stay-at-home dad and Gracie's unofficial assistant. He helped with her shoots, managed her emails, and watched Romeo while she built her empire. But Andre wanted more. He wanted to be the star, not the sidekick. So he dove into cryptocurrency, making YouTube videos and an ebook, hyping himself as the next big thing. He told Gracie they'd hit a $500,000 jackpot through his trades. Sounds amazing, right? Except in 3 years, his crypto hustle earned $22. Not $22,000, $22. I mean, come on, that's less than a pizza order. Now, let's talk about the mess they were in. Behind the filters, Andre was drowning in debt, over $40,000 in personal loans and credit cards. Gracie had a $70,000 loan on that Range Rover and owed $40,000 in taxes to the Australian Taxation Office, which Andre was supposed to handle. Their total debt, over $112,000, and they were barely making rent. Gracie thought they were doing okay. She was out there earning, trusting Andre to keep the books. But he was lying, hiding the truth to keep up with her success. Every post they shared, every smile they flashed was a mask over a crumbling reality. I've been there, you know. Not the murder part, but that pressure to look like you've got it all together. Social media can make you feel like you're failing if your life isn't perfect. For Andre, that pressure was a vice grip. He wasn't just failing financially, he felt like he was failing Gracie, Romeo, and their 1 million followers. He couldn't admit he was broke, that his crypto dreams were a bust. So he hatched a plan, and it's one that makes your stomach churn. He turned to his mom, Colleen Rebelo, not for help but for something unthinkable. Just days before May 25, 2020, May 18, 19 and 20 to be exact, Andre took out 3 life insurance policies in Colleen's name. We're talking $1, $15 million, and he made himself the beneficiary of 2. He used a fake email address he created to make it look like Colleen signed up herself. Later, he'd claim she wanted these policies to secure her kid's future. But let's be real, neither of them could afford the premiums. This wasn't about love or legacy, it was about cold, hard cash. Andre saw a way to erase his debts and prove he was the man he pretended to be online. But to get that money, he'd have to do something so dark, it's hard to even say it out loud. What kind of son looks at his mom and sees dollar signs? Let's find out what happened next. Let's step into May 25, 2020 and meet Colleen Rebelo. She's 58, a mom of 4, and the kind of grandma who'd drop everything to play with her grandson Romeo. Colleen was vibrant. She'd just earned a healthcare degree, loved her morning walks, and was in great health. Her friends called her selfless, always putting her kids first. She lived in a cozy Bicton home with her youngest son Fabian, and there wasn't a hint of trouble with Andre, her eldest. So, how does a woman like this, loved by everyone, end up dead in her own shower, betrayed by her own son? It's the kind of question that keeps you up at night. That morning, Colleen was her usual self. She dropped Fabian off at work at 10 a.m., promising to pick him up at 2 p.m. Around 10:30, Andre showed up at her house. Cell phone records confirm he was there for about 50 minutes, pinging a tower nearby. He'd later say they had coffee, talked about life insurance, nothing out of the ordinary, but prosecutors told a story that'll make your skin crawl. They believe Andre murdered his mom during that visit, likely by smothering her with a pillow or some other method that left no clear marks. The autopsy couldn't pin down the exact cause of death. No cuts, no bruises, just a body that stopped living. But the clues were screaming murder. While Andre was at the house, his phone was going wild. Gracie, his partner, was livid that he wasn't answering. Between 11:10 and 11:35 a.m., she sent a barrage of texts, and "Or your fucking phone" was one, followed by over a dozen calls. She was fuming, she'd later testify, probably stressed about their son or their chaotic life. Andre finally answered for a quick 90-second call, likely to cool her off. Then at 12:38 p.m., he texted Colleen asking if she could watch Romeo. At 2:08 p.m., he texted Fabian about dropping off clothes. These weren't casual texts, prosecutors said. They were Andre's attempt to build an alibi, to make it look like his mom was still alive when he knew she wasn't. Now picture Fabian coming home that afternoon. He's expecting his mom's warm smile, maybe a cup of tea. Instead, he finds her in the ensuite shower, naked, slumped on her knees, her head pressed against the wall. It's a scene that haunts me just thinking about it. Prosecutors called it staged, carefully arranged to look like Colleen had a heart attack or slipped. First responders bought it at first. No signs of a break-in, no obvious violence. They marked it non-suspicious, but something felt off, like a puzzle piece that didn't fit. Then Andre's next move blew the case wide open. 3 days after Colleen's death, 3 days, he started filing claims on those $1, 15 million insurance policies. Most of us would be sobbing, planning a funeral, holding our family close. But Andre, he was forging documents like it was his job. A fake will, a fake coroner's report, even an AI-generated voicemail pretending to be Colleen's psychologist to rush the claims. He admitted to these frauds later, pleading guilty to 4 counts, but the documents were sloppy, wrong birth dates, amateur mistakes. One insurer smelled a rat and called the police. That's when the truth started to unravel. By September 2020, police were watching Andre closely. They planted surveillance in his home, and the tapes caught him lying through his teeth. He claimed he wasn't at his mom's house long, that he didn't know anything. But the cell phone data didn't lie. Andre was there, right when Colleen died. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Colleen raised him, loved him, trusted him, and he saw her as a ticket out of debt, a way to keep his Instagram life sparkling. How does someone get to that point where their own mom becomes a means to an end? Let's see how justice caught up with him. By November 2022, Andre Rebelo's lies were catching up with him. Police had been digging for 2 years, and they hit him with the ultimate charge, the murder of his mother, Colleen. The trial in 2024 was a gut punch for Perth. 8 weeks, 50 witnesses, and a courtroom packed with family, reporters, and raw emotion. I can only imagine the tension. Colleen's loved ones staring at Andre, wondering how he could do this. Prosecutors didn't need to prove exactly how she died, just that Andre was the one who ended her life. And the evidence? It was like a tidal wave. Those cell phone records put Andre at Colleen's house for 50 minutes right when she died. The insurance policies he took out days before, worth $115 million, showed he'd planned this. The forged documents, the will, the coroner's report, that eerie AI voicemail proved he was ready to cash in. And those secret surveillance tapes from September 2020? They caught Andre lying about his movements, stumbling over his own story. Prosecutors said it was all about money and ego. Andre was drowning in $40,000 of personal debt, part of the $112,000 he and Gracie owed. He couldn't face being the guy who failed, the one who couldn't match Gracie's influencer glow. Instagram was his stage, and Colleen's death was his ticket to keep the show going. Gracie took the stand for the defense, and my heart breaks for her. She said Andre seemed ordinary that day, no scratches, no guilt in his eyes. She thought their finances were solid, not knowing about the tax bills or car loans piling up. Gracie wasn't charged. She was a victim of Andre's lies too. raising Romeo while he spun this web. But Andre's defense fell apart. He admitted to the fraud but denied the murder, even suggesting Colleen might have taken her own life. Prosecutors shut that down, calling it nonsense. On December 5, 2024, after 2 days of deliberation, the jury came back guilty. Jurors were crying, overwhelmed by the horror of a son killing his mom. Fast forward to April 1, 2025, Andre's 29th birthday. In the WA Supreme Court, Justice Bruno Fiannaca looked him in the eye and called his crime a monstrous act, a cold-blooded betrayal. He sentenced Andre to life in prison with a 25-year non-parole period. That means he'll be in his 50s before he even gets a chance at freedom. The fraud charges got him 13.5 years, served at the same time. Colleen's twin sister Monique poured her heart out in a victim impact statement, saying she lost her mom and her twin brother in one blow. Colleen's sister Leonie spoke of a family shattered. It's the kind of grief that feels like a physical weight. Andre's dad, Antonio, was there standing by his son. He called the verdict sad and disappointing, saying, "We don't really know what happened. It's tough to hear. Denial is a powerful thing when you're losing someone you love." Gracie, meanwhile, was rebuilding. In April 2025, she posted an Instagram video, tears in her eyes, talking about healing with her new partner, Daniel Klassen, and focusing on Romeo. She's not the villain here, just a woman caught in a nightmare she didn't see coming. This case is a punch to the soul because it's more than a murder, it's a warning. Social media can trick us into chasing a life that's not real, pushing us to extremes. Andre couldn't admit he was struggling, couldn't let go of the Instagram illusion, and Colleen paid the ultimate price. It makes you wonder, what's the cost of trying to be perfect in a world that's always watching? This case hits hard. A mother's gone, a family's broken, and a young girl's future hangs in the balance. I keep thinking about Ashley Smiley, her laugh, her love for teaching, her life cut short. And Carly, a kid who might have been lost in her own mind, now locked away forever. What do you think? Did the jury get it right? Or is there more to Carly's story? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. If you have any info on the Ohio mystery or Carly's case, reach out to Mississippi authorities or the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Subscribe for more stories that make us think, feel, and question. Until next time, take care.